Hi, Sherls here. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate you being here. If you haven't already, subscribing would mean the world to me. In this video, I want to share with you how to create a unique journal cover using junk envelopes with a built-in closure, meaning no need for extra ribbons or attachments. I have created two self-closure designs, a tuck-in style and a belt style. While both styles work to keep the journal closed, the belt version is better at keeping a bulky journal securely closed. Let me show you. I have a stack of author index cards here, and I will put it in this cruising through time journal. Now I'm going to tuck it close, and nope, it keeps popping up. The tuck-in style cannot resist the pressure of the journal wanting to pop open. And the other journal, same, I'll put it here and tuck it. And it still stays closed. This belt closure is able to hold up against the alligator mouth. These journals each contain a single signature, with this one contains 9 sheets of paper, and this journal has 13 sheets of paper. In this tutorial, I will show you how to make the same cover with one signature using my misprint Gothic Steampunk Digital. I forgot to turn off my printer's ink saver mode, and it printed the purple shade as blue. I have one page here for your comparison. This is the misprint one with the ink saver turned on, and this is how it should look like. So if you are using my Gothic Steampunk, make sure to turn off the ink saver mode so it will be printed correctly. I also prepared two signatures featuring my Springtime and Whispers of Wildflower digital kits. And finally, we will be also making a journal cover for this 3 signatures journal using the beautiful Shades of Spring and Spring Collage digital kits from Raj and Bella Crafts. You will find the link to all the digital kits I'm using in the description box. For each cover, I will be using 2 big junk envelopes that's at least 6 by 9 inches. I like to use one with the closure flap still intact for the back cover. I will also use one standard size junk envelope, fabrics, a thick one to enforce the spine, and a thin one. Some pretty papers to mat the envelope, and self-adhesive wallpaper scraps I have. You don't have to use self-adhesive wallpaper. You can use packing tape, Tyvek, or fabric. If you want, you can also use paper. I don't recommend it though. Well, it's my personal preference. I like my spine to be really strong and tear resistant, unlike paper. Before I use the junk envelopes, I like to make sure there is no open gaps in the inside. This one is pretty good, only slightly this one. This open gap on the inside, in my opinion, might catch the ephemera that you will put inside the envelope. That's why I like to make sure there is no open gap and no chance for the gap to catch the ephemera. I will let it dry. And the last one, this is pretty good already. I will first work with the big envelopes. I want this to be on the front and this one will be on the back. And they are fairly the same width. So that's good. What I might do here is trim this side off so it will look tidier. Next, I am going to trim this into 8.5 inches, which is the height of my signature. And I want to keep this side opening. So what I will be doing is making a mark on one side, then trim it only on one side of the envelope like this. Then I can fold this along the edge here and apply adhesive. This will be my front cover, and the back cover, I want it to have a top loading. So I will cut this into 8.5 inches. Then trim it off. Nice. These are ready. The steps to prepare the big envelopes for 1 signature, 2 signatures, or 3 signatures journals are the same. The only difference is how we attach the front cover and the back cover together. I already cut my self-adhesive wallpaper scraps into 8.5 inch strips. And I will show you how to put this together, starting from the 1 signature journals, 2 signatures journal, and 3 signatures journal. Putting together the cover for 1 signature journal is the easiest one. I want the opening of the front cover to be on my right side and the back cover to be on the top. So this is how it will look on the outside, and when I open it, this will be my inside. And I will fold this wallpaper strip, the thinnest that I have, into half. Then I like to fold such that the one that's facing out will face together like this. I put a mark here, I as for inside, and this one also inside. So I know that will be my inside cover. I just stack them together, making sure that they are aligned, and apply 1/2 of the wallpaper on one side and the other half on the second envelope. Like this. This is my cover for 1 signature journal. The steps to attach the front cover and back cover for 2 signatures, 3 signatures, or more signatures journals are the same. So I will work on them side by side. My wallpaper scraps, they might not be even. Like this one is poking out a little bit than the other. So don't bother about that. First, I'm going to mark where I'm going to attach my 2 signatures on this wallpaper scrap. So this will be the end of my front cover, a gap, and then first signatures, second signatures, a gap, and this will be my back cover. For clarity, let me just put a line here. And here I have my template for piercing the signatures for binding. So I will mark it. I will repeat for the 3 signatures one. Before I attach the front and the back cover, I like to puncture this first so I can see where my signatures is going to be attached. Especially I'm going to take off this backing. You don't have to do this piercing part, and if you are using fabric or Tyvek or other material that doesn't have this self-adhesive property. This one will be slightly trickier. I'm folding where my front cover will attach to the spine and the back cover as well. Now let's attach the front cover to the spine. I will open this, and the opening is on the outside and adhere, making sure that I align the edge of the envelope with the fold line of the wallpaper. I will leave this here for now, so the sticky property of the wallpaper is not going to cause me problem. I will do the same thing for the back cover. Opening, so that's the correct orientation. This is my back cover. This is the top. Making sure that they are aligned, slightly tilted. I want the front and the back cover to be properly aligned. So one side is not higher than the other or shorter than the other. The best way for me to do it, I believe, is by aligning this side like this. Press it down so it's not moving around, and peel the backing. Much better. This will be the 2 signatures journal cover. And for the 3rd signatures, I suddenly changed my mind. I will use a strip of fabric, a thin one, so you know what I'm talking about. So this will be the fabric that I am going to use. It's perfect of inches. First, let's see. So this side has the kind of plastic or nylon thread around it. Do I want to cut it? Yes, I do. Before I cut it, I want to make my lines. This is my cut line. I like to have around 1.5 inches to attach my spine to the cover, just to make sure it is properly secure. And then 3.8 inches between signatures should be good enough. This one is slightly crooked. Actually, I did not even attach it to the correct marks. But somehow it is really hard to see. It's kind of confusing to see actually. I think that's okay for now. I see it's because my fabric is not properly straight. Let's try this again. Cutting some tape, and I will tack this fabric on my table surface so it's not running around while I'm drawing the lines. And I am tightening it up to make sure there is no bubble on the center, just as if I'm adhering this fabric on my table surface like this. And right now I will use a marker, or maybe no, because I don't want you to be able to see the lines on the other side. 1.5 inches, and then 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, and around 1.5 inches. The markings are still in the correct position. It's just the lines. Much better. Now, just cutting. This is my front cover, and I want this to be on the inside. So this goes like this. Front cover, and the back cover goes here. I will use a ruler to make sure that the front and the back cover are aligned and not crooked. So I press this front cover against the ruler, and this one just go like that. This will be on the inside cover, and here I have a slight issue in that the fabric that I use is not properly straight. I need to trim this off. It's not a big deal because I can just use my scissors to cut it off like this. While this is drying, let's work on the next step for the 1 signature and 2 signatures journal. Let's finish up the 1 signature journal first. I ink the edges of the envelope with black ink to tie it with the Gothic steampunk paper. And the inside spine, I want to enforce it further with this purple fabric. On the outside, I'm going to work on the front cover first. I cut 2 of the Gothic steampunk paper just right in the middle. This one I want to use it for the front cover. Be like this. My cover is 6 inches wide, and half of US letter size paper is 5.5 inches. There is a big gap opening there, and I will cover it up with a piece of fabric. It is a little bit crooked on the top, so I want to adjust it a little bit. Now I have this white piece of paper extra. I will trim it off in a bit. But now my focus is to finish the front cover. After I attach the inside of the front cover, I no longer see the crook digital. So that's perfect. I don't have to do any adjustment. My next step is trying to put together the closure and the spine, the front spine. This is the fabric that I want to use to enforce the front spine. I will attach only half side of this fabric to the front cover, and I will leave the back cover open for now. There is a good reason why I didn't fully commit to this fabric now or doing the back cover first. You will see shortly after I finish this step. This will be where I'm going to attach the first part of the tuck. I only want to attach one side of it. So my double-sided tape is half inches wide. Double-sided tape by its own, in my opinion, is not very strong. When I need it to be very strong, I like to add liquid adhesive. I wonder if it will look nicer if I put this journal card like this. Yeah, in my opinion, this looks better. So now I need this envelope for the closure. For this journal, the Cruising Through Time journal, I leave the junk envelope open as a side pocket. And from this Cruising Through Time, I learned it's better to attach the junk envelopes not directly close to the back cover like this, because this part, it is bent, and in my personal opinion, it feels like you cannot really put a lot of item here without it is getting bent. So what I'm going to do, I will still keep this pocket feature of the closure, but I will attach it further away from the back cover. For this one, I want it to be like this. So this envelope and then this tag, maybe something like this. Yeah, I think I will make the envelope taller than this journal card. So this journal card is 5 inches. I will make this like 6 inches. This junk envelope is 4 inches wide, so I need to cut a piece of paper 4 inches wide to cover it up. I still have this misprint Gothic steampunk. I'm not going to use this two, it's too big, but these two might work. I want to use this black fabric to attach the closure to the back cover. This like 6 inches. I need two strips, one for the inside and one for the outside. Do I need this white of fabric? Actually, no. But I thought that a whiter fabric or more of the fabric hanging on the envelope or the paper will give it better grip of the closure. For this journal, I think like half inches away from the back cover should be good. Actually, I would rather to attach this spine a little bit on the back cover, and this go like this. It is a very thin journal because I did not put any pocket or belly band or tag on the pages. It's a purely writing journal. The misprint pages that is showing the blue more than purple, it's apparently only background pages or the writing pages, and that's why I didn't feel like putting anything in the layout of the journal itself. Trying to position it in the center. I'm going to trim this excess fabric. I really do not need it to be this wide, and later I can use this tiny strip for tag or anything else. And I can now attach the digital I plan to use to cover the back cover. Then bind the journal to the cover, and I am done with this Gothic Steampunk journal. This Gothic Steampunk journal is not the journal that I will be gifting to my niece-in-law. It will just be an add-on to the real journal. I just happen to have a stack of misprint Gothic Steampunk paper, and I don't want to throw it away. The last step I need to do for this journal is to pierce it along with the cover and then sew it. And I'm using my handy dandy DIY book cradle to help me pierce it properly in the center of the signature. I have a tutorial for this book cradle, and I will put the link in the description box if you want to make one for yourself. I finished the one signature journal, and I noticed that this fabric here is still slightly higher than the closure itself, so I'm going to trim it off a little bit, just such that it doesn't look unnatural. I also did a little bit mistake in adhering this strip of paper here, and I will cover this up with some embellishment later when I'm working with my Gothic Steampunk journal. I will also put some more embellishment, especially on the front cover, and do the final flip through of this journal along with my Gothic Steampunk journal for a gift. Now let's work on the 2 signatures and 3 signatures journal. Right off the bat, I noticed something wrong with this cover. I want this fabric to be on the inside. Unfortunately, this opening is on the bottom. Whoops, that's my mistake. So what I will be doing instead, I will flip it, and I drew the lines on the outside. Then I will cover this spine with this fabric. I got this fabric from the non-profit organization that I've been volunteering whenever I have time. And one day, one of the ladies saw this fabric and she told me, use it for your project. This fits perfectly for you. And yep, she's right. I feel that it fits perfectly this shade of spring collage journal. The color theme fits Rachel's shades of spring too, so it's perfect. I will try to align this line here with the front cover. This doesn't stretch all the way to the end of the back cover, so I need to move it slightly up. So I need to move it slightly further to the right side. Let me try to fold this. That's better. Some of the fabric in Fabmo comes with a tag that's glued to the fabric really strongly, like this one here. So unfortunately, I can move this a little bit further up. This is the best that I can do. I do not glue the fabric all the way until the edge of the back cover because I want to attach the signatures first and then the closure. Matting the cover will be the last part that I will be doing for this journal. This is my handy dandy book cradle and these are my signatures. I want to make sure that they are properly aligned like this, and all the pages fall to the center of the signature, and then clip it so it's not running away. Align it on my cradle. This is my template, my pokey tool, and pierce. And I will repeat this with the other two signatures. I apologize, I changed my mind. I want to mat the front cover first and then attaching the signatures to the journal cover, put the closure, and finish matting the back cover. I clip one end of the thread just to make sure that I don't pull the thread all the way out. This is the first signature, so I will align it with the first line of the spine. Actually, it's kind of hard to see the end of the spine with this hanging fabric. So I am trimming it off now. This is not perfect, but it's better. Maybe I should try to trim this neatly. Much better. I did not bother piercing through the fabric of the spine because it's just fabric. It's easy to pierce. All I need to make sure it is properly aligned with the cover, so it's not going to be too high or too low. One signature done. I need to sew the remaining two signatures into the cover. The other two signatures will be easier because I already have the first signature as a guide. What I'm doing now is clipping the second signature and the first signatures, just so it will be much easier for me to align the second signature on the cover. The first signature is the trickiest one. After that, using the first signature as a guide, I can see where I need to poke in from the outside of the journal cover. Finally, the last signature. With all of the signatures already sewn in, now I can make the closure for this journal. This envelope is around 4 1/8 inches wide. I don't really need it to be that wide. Something like this, yeah, is too wide, so maybe like 3.5 inches. It's better. And how long? Maybe 5 inches. I wanted it to have a rounded edge, but this plastic make it really thick, so I ended up just cutting it. I have no plan of turning this into a pocket, so I will completely adhere these two sets of the envelope together. This part, yeah, I don't accept this 8.5 inches. How about if it is like 6 inches? So this will be the belly band where the belt is going to tuck underneath. I think 6 inches is good enough. Do I want half butterfly? Oh no, I'll just use this part. And I'm going to back this with book page so that will be very thick and sturdy. I ended up double layering this so it will be really sturdy. Before I attach this on my front cover, I want to see the best position for it. I cut myself a strip of fabric, a thick one, and I plan to attach it on the outer spine like this. And this will be, let's see, maybe I should commit to attach this now, only on the front cover, not the back, because I haven't mapped the back. I cut this fabric as wide as my spine, plus 2 times 1¼ inches for the overhang on the front and back cover. Before it fully dries, I want to make sure that it is straight. I will adhere the rest of the fabric later after I put together the closure. And I apply a generous amount of this strong adhesive so this belly band will last the tuck and untucking of the belt. Now let's work on the belt part. This will be the fabric I'm going to use to attach the belt on the cover. And first I need to cut this into 3½ inches, as tall as my belt. I really like using fabric, and I highly recommend you to use fabric for this part, because the belt will be the part that will be tucked and untucked so often, and fabric will last longer than paper or any terrible material. I forget to ink the edges so it doesn't look so white. I'm making sure that the edge of the belt is aligned, at least aligned with the front cover, and the fabric will just gently reach the back cover. I'm adjusting this to make sure that it is in the center of the cover, and adhere this fabric to the other side of the back cover. In my opinion, adhering the belt on both sides of the back cover will add more integrity to the closure, because you have two sides holding it to the back cover. And I like to hide the edge of the fabric connection underneath a paper or another fabric, and that's why I work on the back cover last. I'm pressing the fabric really well against the paper, making sure that there is no bubble. There's a little bit bubble there, and I'm going back, applying more adhesive, and then I will press it again using my scraper. Here I noticed that this fabric is overhang, And that's fine. I can still cut it using my scissors by pulling the closure back and then cut it. This looks really nice now. And the back cover, I already prepared it. Oops, it's upside down. It's good that I caught it early before I completely commit to adhering this page on the cover. Finally, I'm going to adhere this fabric onto the spine and the back cover. When adhering the spine, I'm making sure that it is properly stretched so there is no bubble on the spine between the inside of the spine and the back. Somehow a little bit crooked, so I'm adjusting it. For signature, it's good. Signature, good. Third one, this is not good. I have this bubble here. Thankfully, my spine is not completely dry, so I can still stretch this one. It's looking good. This one needs a little bit more adhesive. This one also have bubble, which I do not like. I want the inside spine and the back spine adhere really flush. I have a little bit overhang here, which I need to trim. Nice. And the last part of the cover is matting the belt. I already cut a piece of paper from the Shades of Spring as wide as my belt, and I cut the whole width of the paper 8.5 inches. I want to wrap this digital around the belt. That's why I didn't bother cutting it to the precise size. And then this will fold in like this. And I don't need this much left hanging. So I will trim this a little bit. Remember this double-sided tape that I haven't peeled? That was done on purpose, so I can tuck this underneath it and then adhere it on top of it. And that's my cover for Shades of Spring Collage. I left an extra fabric here, so if this stay like this, it can close like this. But after I put the ephemera for this journal, This journal might turn into an alligator journal, and the belt still closes the journal really well. My next step for this journal is to use the scraps and the leftover fussy cut ephemera to make more ephemera to fill all the pockets, tags, belly band of the journal and decorate the front cover so it will be more interesting than just like this, although this also already looking very interesting for me. I will do this off camera and I will share the final flip through in a separate video. The steps assembling the 2 signatures journal are the same as 3 signatures journal. I will assemble my 2 signatures journal spring wildflower on camera at a fast forward speed. I promise this will be a much faster process. I already have everything I need on my table and I just need to put them together except piercing the hole for my signature. I like to tap my signatures on the table to make sure that all the pages fall into the fold line. It's not hard turning junk mail envelopes into this self-closing junk journal cover. You can use it for simple one signature journal, two signatures journal, even 3 or more signatures journal. I already put some of the ephemera I made for this sheets of spring collage journal inside the journal. And as you can see, this journal is becoming chunkier, but the belt closure still holds the journal well. This belt closure can resist the pressure from the journal to pop out much better than the tuck-in closure. And this belt closure, you can also use it as a belly band and tuck some ephemera journal card on the cover. I personally like using fabric for this part. In one of my journal, like this one, I use junk mail envelope and I don't really like this part. For me, the fabric is stronger than paper. But that's me. If you don't mind using paper or the junk mail envelopes, then use it. Do whatever makes your heart happy. That's very important. I will make some more ephemera for these 3 journals and I will post the final flip through for them. This journal, I also have the final flip through and I will post it and link it in this video. Thank you for watching this tutorial until the end. I hope this tutorial helps you using up your junk mail envelope stash. Please leave a comment and subscribe if you haven't. Your support means a lot to me. Happy crafting! Bye!